Y'all know, I was just thinking. I was really just having, a little self reflection a few minutes ago, and I was just thinking, I might be a toxic person. I just might be a toxic person. And, I never thought about it,. Never realized it. I'm super big on self awareness, self reflection. And this whole time, I could be toxic. I would say mine stems from, me not really being social. I could be very antisocial at times. I'm moody. That's what it is. I'm moody. So like, I don't know. I don't ever like to agree to anything because I know how I feel the next day is going to be totally different. Like, I'll say, "Okay, yeah, I'll go with you there," or "Yeah, we can go tomorrow. We can go somewhere tomorrow." And then when that time comes tomorrow, my whole mood would be totally different. And I wouldn't want to be around anybody. I'd rather just be on my couch reading a book or something. So I could be antisocial at times. And when I'm in my creative zone, when I'm like thinking creatively, super antisocial. Like I don't want anybody to even be in the area. Like I want the place to myself. I don't want nobody to interrupt my thinking. It's very zen like. I'm a person who's very zen like, who doesn't meditate, who doesn't practice any type of meditation, but I'm very zen like. Like I like to be in a space where I can just think without anybody like interrupting that thinking process. That's how tap into my creative space. And I think everybody needs to figure out how they can tap into their creative space. Mine just happens to be I need to be completely alone. Sometimes I need books around me, different books on different subjects, so I can grab different ideas. Just mentally, it stimulates my mind looking at different books, looking at different quotes, things of that nature. It stimulates my mind. Also, time is a big deal. You need to figure out the time that you're super creative. Like I'm really creative like late at night. I don't know why. I have no clue why, but like when it's like 1 o'clock, I'm mad creative. My mind is clicking on all levels. I'm thinking of different businesses. I'm thinking of what stocks I'm about to invest into next. And part of me being like antisocial also has a lot to do with the conversation. Like I can be very social if we're talking about things that are going to earn me money, or we're talking about business or something. We're talking about Elon Musk. We're talking about Tesla. We're talking about entrepreneurship. Then I'm all there. I'm all there. But if we're talking about stuff that don't really matter to me, or it's empty conversations, I'm mad antisocial. Mad antisocial. And it can be toxic, especially when I'm trying to be creative. And you may have a significant other, or you may have a girlfriend or something like that. When you're tapped into a zone where you don't want to talk at all, you don't want to go anywhere, it's like a leave me alone, I'm trying to think. And I mean, these kind of zones for me, when I zone out like that, it's for hours. It isn't like 30 minutes and okay, I'm cool, I'm back to talking. It's like for hours. When I tap into those kind of zones, it can be very toxic. So you gotta learn how to have a little balance when you're trying to isolate yourself. And I think everybody needs to do that, because it's a time for self-reflection. It's a time for thinking about where you're taking your life. Where do you plan on going with your life? So I think everybody needs to take time to step away from everything, to be able to self-reflect and be able to look where their future's heading, things of that nature. So, yeah, that's big for me. I mean, there's just like too much noise in the world today. Social media, like, man, it is so many like apps and things of that nature. All are just taking your time and distracting you. Like, have you guys ever got caught on Instagram just scrolling? Not even paying attention, just scrolling. And when you look up at the clock, you realize 30 minutes has passed by and you're like, man, I don't know why I was just in there doing all that. You get caught. It's almost like hypnotizing. And you realize that all your time has been wasted. So it's good when you're trying to step into that space of creativity that you either put your phone on silent, turn it off, or leave it in a different room so it doesn't distract you from coming up with these ideas that you have. You know, I've been reading this book called Stillness is the Key by my favorite author, Ryan Holiday. I've read 3 of his books. I've read Ego is the Enemy, Obstacle is the Way, and this third one, Stillness is the Key. He actually signed it, which is, pretty cool. Not that many got signed. But he just talks about there's nothing wrong with wanting to isolate yourself and having stillness around you where nothing's moving, nobody's talking, and in order to have a clear mind, in order to make right decisions. He says a person with a clear mind makes faultless decisions. So if I'm thinking about my next steps forward, it's hard for them to be bad decisions because I've been sitting, thinking about it, making sure that if I go left, is going to produce this outcome, but also evaluating if I go right, what outcome is that going to produce? So you're clearly thinking about the outcomes of both sides of the decisions that you make. And to be able to be level-headed like that requires stillness. It requires quiet. It requires time alone. It also goes back to understanding your peak hours or when you're most creative or when your mind is ticking at its highest level, vibrating at its highest frequency. Being able to be self-aware about that, And so nothing wrong with being a little toxic is what I'm trying to say. I'm a little toxic, a little toxicity in me, but being able to manage it and letting your partner or your girlfriend or your wife, letting her understand how you operate, letting her understand that you need this time alone because it allows you to operate, it allows you to put yourself in a position where you can make good decisions with your life moving forward. Toxicity is only bad to me in my eyes, from my point of view, POV, is when there's lack of communication between you and that other person, when they don't understand why you're acting a certain way. That's when the toxicity can be overwhelming and cause issues. So just be clear about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and have her understand that this is you and this is how you operate. And in order for me to operate at my highest levels, to be vibrating on my highest frequency, I need to be in this kind of space at least sometimes out of the week or sometimes out of the day. And they'll understand that. They'll understand. I'm sure women, appreciate a guy who's focused, a guy who has high goals, or a male definitely. I know I appreciate women that are ambitious and women that know what they want and women that are, trying to better themselves. So I'm sure it works both ways. So, yeah. So nothing wrong with toxic. Nothing wrong with toxic. And I finally realized I am toxic. It just has it has a negative connotation to it. And most people don't want to admit that they're toxic, but ain't nothing wrong with being toxic, man. We all toxic. Toxic family. About to sip a little Crown. Whew. But, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Kept it a little short. I don't know. When I get done editing, I'm sure it's going to be longer than I thought it would be. But if you guys have any book recommendations about that, if you guys have any book recommendations, not recommendations, if you're asking me for a book recommendation, tell me what you're going through in your life. Tell me why you're looking to read. Tell me, is it for self-help? Is it for depression? Because I read books also on enlightenment, which are books that kind of help you feel good with the space that you're in. Helps with depression and stuff like that. Enlightenment books and books on spirituality and things of that nature. I read those kind of books as well. But let me know what kind of space you're in so I can give you a better recommendation of a book to read, because I read strategically. I don't just pick up books to read just for fun. I read books specifically because I'm trying to gather some kind of information from that book. It has some type of information that I felt I needed at that moment. Like I read business books, startup books, self-help books. I read a lot of biographies. I'm all over the place with biographies. I love to understand how people think, especially like leaders, people that are great leaders, or people that transcended through time, people that are, of historical value because of the kind of person they were. I love reading those kind of books. So like I've read biographies on Elon Musk, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, W.E.B. Du Bois, what's his name? Booker T. Washington, Abraham Lincoln. That's just a few. I'm trying to think of all of them on the top of my head right now. Not working, obviously. But I've read those books on those people because they had particular skill traits that I wanted. They had specific things about them that I wanted to understand, and how can I add that to my repertoire? It's like basketball. It's like sports. You know what I mean? You got to have an elite. You have to have an elite package. So you have to always be constantly adding things to your package. It makes you a better and better basketball player. Takes you from a hooper to a hoopist. It takes you up that next level. So I'm always trying to add things. I've taken multiple things from these people, even my father. Taking multiple things from these people and adding it to myself to make me a business, to make me a better leader, better father, better business partner. All for the future. I'm trying to shape myself into the person that I want to be in the future. So I felt that I need those particular traits or those particular insights from those people. So just let me know what you're looking for at that time, what you're going through in your life, and I can better help suggest a book. So that's all I had for you guys. I think this might be a shorter video. I don't know. By the time I finish editing it, which is about to be hours, because it takes forever. But by the time I finish it, I'm sure it's gonna be longer than I thought it was longer than it was supposed to be. But I mean, I'm trying to spit, facts, some gems to you guys to help you, progress further in your life, or to help you feel comfortable with being toxic. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, your month, and your year. And just stay blessed. Always got to remain blessed and keep them in your corner. I'm out of here. Peace.